Right, my name is Bessie Hayes. I'm an ex-educational psychologist, now long retired, and I became involved with City of Sanctuary right from the beginning about 3 years ago. This is the Leicester group. We decided about a year ago, just over a year ago, to try and help some of the asylum seekers who'd have their first appeal rejected by setting up a voucher exchange scheme. These were people who had been put onto a card system. They were given a supermarket gift card for £35 each week. We were aware that there was a bit of a black market in these cards, and some people exploited the asylum seekers by paying them less, sometimes considerably less, than the face value of the cards. We first of all explored how other systems worked and went to Coventry to look at their system. We came back and tried to find some support for a system in Leicester. We put out a sheet headed "Can you help?" and we invited people to put up a standing order for £35 monthly, for which they would get one of the cards that we'd purchased. We aimed for 50 people, and after that we thought we might expand to a second group. However, we got our 50 people within the first month, and very quickly we expanded to 78 people. And I think this shows the amount of support there is out there for asylum seekers in general. We then had to ask people who wanted to join our scheme to delay, because there was uncertainty about how this scheme was going to go further forward. We started up in August 1909, and since then we've run a monthly exchange. At first it was the asylum seekers bringing in one of their cards, and we would check it and exchange at the face value. So we were giving them £35 per month, which meant that they could use buses, they could shop in the market, they could get haircuts and lots of other things that had been denied them before that. There was immense gratitude on the part of the asylum seekers. I think particularly of one lady who we found standing outside the door where we were going to hold our exchange an hour early. We asked her, was she waiting for our group, and she said yes. So we invited her in and noted that she was limping very badly and had a cast on her ankle. When asked, she said yes, she had a broken ankle which had been treated, and she hadn't known how long it would take her to walk in from Beaumont Leys, so she'd allowed plenty of time, which was why she'd come an hour early. So she'd walked 3 to 4 miles on a broken ankle in order to get the cash. There were other examples too. There was one man who took his cash and looked at it very carefully and said, "This is the first money I've handled for 3 years." There was another man who came in, hopefully, because he hadn't been referred to us. We usually only took referrals from recognised agencies such as the Red Cross, the Welcome Project, the Centre Project, and the Race Equality Centre. This man didn't have a referral, and we said to him, "We don't know whether we'll have enough money to help you today, but if you will go away and come back later, we may be able to help you. At this, he almost burst into tears and said, I'm desperate. I really need money. So we said, right, well, hang around if you want to. And at the end of the day, we were able to exchange a £35 card for him. He came the following month looking quite different and said, that really changed my life. We didn't know why, but we suspect he had some debts that people were chasing him for, and he was able to pay them off. There have been lots of other examples of the gratitude that people feel. Lots of things about them being unable, for example, to use buses. One man said, at last I'll be able to give my daughter her bus fare to school instead of having to walk over 2 miles. Other things of this kind. In February of 2010, the system changed and the Home Office started issuing what were called Azure cards. These are rather like a debit or credit card, and they have some distinct advantages for the asylum seekers. Instead of being restricted to one supermarket, they can now use the 4 major supermarkets, Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's and Morrison's, and in addition Boots and Peacocks. And it's been suggested all along that the Co-op are also going to join the scheme. So a lot more freedom and flexibility, but still no money, and of course still no right to work. So what we did at that stage was ask our asylum seekers to go out and buy a supermarket gift card and to bring it into us, and then for several months we went on exchanging the gift cards as before. But come July the 1st, the Home Office decided to restrict things further and sent out an order, or they say they sent out an order to all supermarkets that they must not permit the purchase of gift cards. And at that point we had to ask all our supporters to cancel their standing orders. We determined that we were going to go on, and we have changed the system to a joint shopping scheme, which I don't wish to describe in detail, but it's another way of giving the asylum seekers some cash which enables them to do all the things that otherwise they're quite unable to do. And there's been a reduction in the number of asylum seekers and a big reduction in the number of our supporters, because many people can't afford the time to come in and do a joint shopping trip. But nevertheless, we're managing to run a reasonably efficient system.